So happy great Monday to you all. And so glad to have you join in and tune in live for our weekly Nugget of Wisdom call. And so I just thought we could go live and try to get some other people to pop in as well if they want to. And then just try to share a little bit more personally from my heart tonight. So this week's nugget is probably going to be a little different. We'll try to throw a nugget in there, of course, of encouragement. But I really want to just talk to you all and just kind of give you like an update and give you um, a little bit more information. So, in case you are joining like from online and you're joining from Facebook, hey, so glad you could drop in. And maybe you don't personally know me. I wanted to be able to introduce myself and let you see my face live and in person, kind of. And just so you can really hear from me a little bit. So tonight, again, it's our live weekly calls, and I'm so thankful and grateful for those who are joining in, those who have been with us since the start and the beginning. Really, this has been almost a year that we've embarked on this journey, and so I'm really excited and grateful. I'm gonna try to move over a little bit, see if that'll work a little better. So I'm really excited and grateful for that, and definitely appreciate everyone's support. And just wanted to say thank you so much for thus far where we have started and where we are now. And definitely didn't know what to expect, and this was not necessarily part of my plan or what I thought, but I'm thankful for the time to be able to just follow purpose, basically, right? To follow purpose. And so that's the real whole thing about Nuggets of Wisdom. So I'm so glad that you guys are with and coming along this journey. So with this whole group, even Nuggets of Wisdom, Facebook group and the community overall in general, is really just to be able to share, encourage, and support one another in our journey, because we're all going through this and living this life, right? Living life and going through our own journey and processes. And sometimes we need a little help, a little encouragement, a little push. Sometimes we need accountability. Sometimes we need guidance. I know that I did, and this all stemmed from me and my personal experiences of my journey, which I hope to be able to share more with you all as well. And I realized that I couldn't get to where I am currently, and even throughout the rest of my journey, without there being someone to help, someone to encourage, someone to hold me accountable, someone to push me into purpose, to push me along further in my journey, to help me. And so that's really how it all started, and just a way to help encourage and motivate others to be able to do the same thing. So wherever you are in your life's journey, no one is better along or further along, because if they're further along, if they're any better. We're all in different stages in our life. We're all through, going through different journeys and different paths, different points in our journey. So there's no judgment or anything there, but we are here to encourage and empower you to live out your God ordained purpose. So if you're not even sure what that is, if you're not sure what you want to do or where you should be, or if you're not satisfied with the life that you are living, then you know what? It's an opportunity for you to take control and to not be a victim and have the victim mentality, but to instead be an active participant in your life. And that you can do that by the choices that you make. And these are things that I had to realize myself. So a little, backdrop for me, I struggled a lot with, feeling whether or not I would really get that confidence and um, you know whether or not I would really get to the things that I wanted to get to in life or accomplish the things that I wanted to do. And once I hit a really rough, rocky patch in my life, I just felt like, victim mentality really set in. Whether or not I was going to really be able to get over it. It was, more others' fault than maybe my own. Not looking at some of the things and choices that I made that played a part into the way and how my life was turning out. And I was allowing life to happen to me instead of being intentional and being making the right choices or making choices that could change the trajectory of my life. And so hopefully you guys maybe can identify with that a little bit, um, that we have choices in life to make. And sometimes those choices we make are good and they can help us along our journey, can get us further along, closer to the plan and the life and the purpose that God has for us. And sometimes we make choices that clearly veer off of that path. And it can take us longer to get to where we need to be, even where we desire to go. And so even in those times when we have taken our own route, we've made those choices. The whole premise of Nuggets of Wisdom is that we don't rest there, that we do not find ourselves stuck in our past, stuck in that mindset of those failures, those shortcomings, but that we can use those choices that we made, whether good or bad. We can use those mistakes, those shortcomings, those failures. We can use those experiences to help us along our journey, because I believe that good or bad, that what we experience in life are still things we can gain, pieces, nuggets of wisdom that can help us along our life journey and ultimately lead us to what? As we talk about purpose, our God ordained purpose. And so that is something that I'm passionate about. That is something that is so important for me individually. And, I'm one that once I learn something, once I know something, then I feel that it is part of my responsibility and my duty to be able to share and to help somebody else. I'm by no means a professional by trade in this, but it's really coming out of place of passion and purpose. And I want us to be able to share with one another and help one another. And that's what it's all about. So I hope that gives you a little bit of background. If you did not maybe get a chance to read a little bit about it, or you haven't heard anything previously and you were kind of curious, this will give you a brief synopsis what it's all about. So, these things all stem from my journaling, a lot of it. So I have multiple notebooks that I have throughout my house that I'm usually carrying around, that as these moments, I call them, of inspiration, as these nuggets that God gives me as this time of reflection, a lot of my own life personally. This is how then we come to these things. So it's about things that first I'm dealing with and first I've experienced, because I'm never going to talk to you or tell you something from a place of inexperience, because I just don't feel like that's genuine, and that's just not me or how I roll. So just know that if I'm talking about something, it's because I've been there. It's because I've experienced it, or maybe even currently experiencing it. And you know what? I'm learning through this journey that even even if I have not attained fully where I want to be and where I want to go, it doesn't mean that I still can't, um, even in my growth process, and even in me learning and growing and moving forward, that doesn't mean that I still can't help and share with others, because there's someone that's still trying to get to the place in where I am currently. And so I should try to help them out, right? That's how I feel. So, um, yeah, if you are coming in or anything and you're dropping in, just say hey to me. I would appreciate that so I can know that you're in here. So again, that's just the overall premise, a little background, a little backdrop for it. And I'm so excited and glad that you are here. So I don't think I officially told you my name. I may have forgot, so I'm sorry. I'm Tasha. So it's so glad to see you, to meet you. I hope to get to know more about you if you're joining us on this journey. And we're going to go with it. There's so much that I look forward to us being able to do. We like to have some panel discussions on different and various topics. And when we talk about purpose, purpose in moving out of our past and living in the now and all those things, while the main thing I talk about, you'll hear me already say a lot, is purpose, but there that extends to a lot of different things. What are we doing and moving towards into having the life that we can have, um, financially, mentally, emotionally, academically, professionally, all of those areas, are things that we can definitely discuss and talk about and hope to and plan to, because we all have some experience or maybe need some help or guidance in a lot of different areas, and I know that in order for me to be the the best version of me and myself, even for me to be the best version of myself for my family and for others, I do have to meet and work on more than just the outward portion, the outward physical part of me. I have to work on those internal things. I have to work on my health. I have to work on my mental health. I have to work on, a lot of different things. And I believe really that a lot of all of that all starts within our mind. And so we can easily get stuck in those old, um, unhealthy pattern of thinking. Somebody coined it as the stinking thinking, where we're constantly having negative thoughts. Maybe we're talking ourselves out of good things, the right things. Um, and if we continue along in that path, then what we think here in our minds, rests and begins to settle then within our hearts and our spirit. And then that begins to become our belief. And then it becomes our action. It becomes what we do. It becomes a part of who we are. And if you think about a lot of the things that you've done, things that have happened, it starts with a thought. And so the mind is so important and the mind is so powerful. And if we can get our minds on the right track, if we can set our minds on the right course, then everything else will follow. I know and believe that's why a lot of times we are fought the hardest in our minds, because if our mind is overtaken, if our mind has been convoluted, if our mind has been infiltrated with negativity and things of defeat and all of these things, then it basically stunts our growth. It stunts us and it prevents us and stops us from going forward. And so one day at a time, one step at a time, if we continue to work on that with our mindset, then, we can do a lot of things. And I've learned and been able to see in such a short time, by me changing my mindset and my thought process, of how I can see the rewards and reap the benefits of believing and being confident and having the right mindset. So, a couple um, little little nuggets there as well. So you guys can talk back to me. If you have anything that you wanted to ask, you can feel free to do so. If you have any comments, you want to drop anything in the chat, you can definitely do so. So I appreciate your support, and we're looking to really make this a community. Okay, a safe community that we can grow, share, and learn, and push each other to be the best version of ourselves, and intentionally get to our ultimate purpose in life. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in for this little quick, brief synopsis of our the nuggets of wisdom movement, the Now movement. And I'm so excited. Tonight, overall, the nugget that I was thinking about tonight, it was so it was a lot of different things. And sometimes, I go back and forth about like what is really on my heart. But the one of the things that I wrote down, and I had to keep reminding myself, and it's something so simple, and you've probably already heard it before, but I think it always bears as a good reminder and good to say is, we just have to not lose sight, not lose focus, and just remember what we're doing, and making those intentional choices, making those intentional steps towards whatever it is that we're looking for, whatever that goal is, whatever we're looking to accomplish and achieve. And sometimes, even when we're in that journey and in that process, we get to a point where we get complacent. We get to a place where we just maybe stop. We become stagnant. We get distracted. And, sometimes even we get to the places in our journey where we need to go and do the next thing, make the next move, whatever. And you know what? We stop. We're like, just like, no. And sometimes we are, if you're like me, you might be one that is an overthinker at times, that you're analytical, you're weighing all of the options, you're thinking about everything that can happen before it happens. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We do need to be smart and be intelligent in choices and decisions that we make. But sometimes I would say, I've experienced for myself that sometimes you can think too much to the point that you end up doing nothing. And so sometimes you need to just make a move. Sometimes you just need to make a move. There are things in life we're going to experience and go through that, while we may try to avoid the hardship, we may try to avoid making a mistake. That's me. Like, you want to avoid having reaping any negative consequences or repercussions, and by all means you do that as much as you can. But sometimes, no matter how much we try to plan and chart our course, we're still going to come up against opposition. We're still going to come up against challenges, because it's a part of the process. And so no matter how much we plan, no matter how much we try to navigate and route this thing out in life to where we can make it smooth sailing, there's gonna be things that come up. There's gonna be those challenges or things. And guess what? Again, if it happens, then that means it's an opportunity for us to learn and grow, and to then be able to move forward into the next thing to help us along the way. Sometimes we can allow ourselves to think so much about it to the point that then again our minds become so bogged down that we don't do anything, and we find ourselves stuck and frozen. We find ourselves right where we were before, ultimately haven't made a decision about anything. I know I've sat there plenty of times myself and thought about plenty of things, and the decisions that I need to make, and the magnitude of the decision, the options that I had, and the routes and the choices that I could make. I end up feeling so overwhelmed and so just bogged down with the weight of the decision that I didn't make a decision at all. But it's something I still needed to do. It's important. It's a choice that I still need to make. It's important, but I end up doing nothing at all. Sometimes in all your planning, sometimes in all of your thinking and preparing, and after you made, done all of your due diligence, sometimes you just need to make a move. Just make a move. Just do it. Just make a move. You know why? Because if you never take that leap, if you never make that move, then you're going to continue to stay where you are. You're going to end up in a rut. Your wheels will begin to spin and you will end up nowhere. So sometimes after you've thought about it, you've pondered it a lot, you've gone through all of this again in your mind, and you're still just in a difficult situation, seem like you can't make the right decision. After you thought about it, you weighed the options, maybe you prayed about it, even you sought counsel about it, and you've done all the things that you know that you should do. You know what? Sometimes then we got to take that leap of faith and we got to make a move. We will never know what we can get to, what we can achieve, and what we can accomplish if we never make the move. So I don't want you to be scared and fearful on your journey. What is something this month? Today is the first day of the third month of this year. And maybe when you started this year, January 1st, we all had a lot happen last year, and maybe we were all thinking of a whole lot of things that we want to do new and fresh this year. And maybe now into this third month, you haven't really done anything, or haven't done as much as you thought you would, even thus far. Maybe the goal that you felt like you were going to accomplish or started out accomplishing or working towards in January, you've fallen off of. Maybe because you've become overcome and succumbed to the fear and the idea of having to make a move, because it's uncomfortable, because it's out of your comfort zone, because it's going to grow you, because it's going to stretch you. And I want to encourage you today, the first day of this new month, that now the slate is wiped clean, and whatever happened in last month and the first month, it happened. And yep, we acknowledge that, we recognize it. Yep, we may have been slowful about some things. Yes, we may have procrastinated and put some things to the side, but we get a new opportunity now. So this month, we're going to be intentional and we're going to make a move. I want to encourage you, make a move. Make a move. Guess what? Because then when you make one, then you'll see, oh, that wasn't so as bad as I thought it was. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was. And now my confidence is building up. Oh, I can actually do this. And now that I've made the move, then now I can see, where else I need to go. If this is the right chart, of course, that I'm on. And if I need to regroup and redirect, then so be it. But it's better that I make a move and move forward than to stay and be stuck, than to stay and be stagnant, than to stay and not make any progress, than to stay and not grow, than to stay and not get to your purpose and get to your ultimate goal that you want to achieve. So I'm going to push you this month. Let's make a move. You made the plan, you thought about it a lot. So what now? Now you got to make a move. Now it's time to put it into action. What do you want to see happen? And how you want to see it happen is all based on, again, what you believe and think can happen for you, and then what you're going to do to put into action to make that happen. So remember, be intentional this week, the rest of this week, the rest of this month, to make a move. Make a move in the right direction towards your goal, towards where you want to go. Make a move no matter how small you think it might be. Make a move, step out, be courageous, and make that move and watch and see what happens. I bet you will be surprised. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again for the live. So give me your feedback. You can always, if you catch the replay, definitely drop in some comments as well. But I just wanted to, again, let you see me live and say thank you so much. I appreciate you. And be sure to share this with somebody else. Can you do me a favor? Can you share this for me? Invite others to be a part. We would love to be able to share with everybody who desires to be, a part. So share. I would appreciate that as well. Until next time, my favorite thing that I have to tell myself every week is leave your past, live on purpose, and live in the now. We're living today, not in our past, but let's live today so we can live on purpose. See you guys. Have a great and awesome week. I can't wait to see what steps you take towards your purpose. Mom. Mom. Look. He's watching. All right, guys. So I thank you guys for tuning in and dropping in. I've been trying to figure this whole recording and